Hello, my patrons on Patreon. This is Jonathan, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for always supporting me and my work here on the Cello Coach channel, online, making music accessible for all. Recently, I started a project with a student, not really a project we started, but it's a piece we've been working on. It is the Rondo from Dvorak, an absolutely lovely piece. And you can see right here my smiley system. And there's lots of wonderful things, some of my color-coded brackets. And what the parent required of me was to motivate her child to play more precisely, to practice more precisely, to arrange a practice plan. Now, we've been working on this piece for quite some time, and I noticed that there are certain things that she has opportunities to work with. Yet I didn't know exactly how to formulate this plan. She's performing it in a matter of 2 weeks with an orchestra, and there are certain things that seriously need to be worked out. Also, she's a child and she likes to justify things here and there. So how could I do it? Well, I do it my way. As you know, I'm data oriented. And what I did was I made a spreadsheet. This is a simple spreadsheet that I compiled here based upon the measures in different areas. And I'm really proud of this, so I want to share it with you if you're ever looking to get deeper into your practice, yeah? So, as you see right here, there are almost every single measure is listed. Now, a little aside, this sort of practice plan is devised when you have already worked significantly on a piece, and then there are things that your teacher and you can then extrapolate together and then prioritize as well. And because she has different opportunities in different areas, the order of the words next to the task measures is different. For instance, in the first 17 measures, it's articulation, dynamics, pulse, and in tune, consistently played 3 times. And here you have the various variables that the student must work on: articulation, dynamics, intonation, pulse, and no squeaks. And as you see, there's a lot right here, okay? There's a lot happening. There's a lot of things. There's, like, for instance, look right here. It's different. Sometimes dynamics is important. Sometimes intonation is important. Sometimes the pulse is important. Because your playing throughout a piece is dynamically changing, your priorities also will be on different levels in your ranking when you are focusing on performance of the music. For instance, here we go right here. Measure 165 to 171, where her most biggest opportunity was to not squeak, then to make articulation, play it in tune and dynamics, in that order of priority for the section. And you see these X's right here. And these X's are her practicing and doing it herself. And so she were to play something in that section and she were to stop. And it's very important to be quite precise, to begin and end exactly as dictated, yes? And so she were to, practice this a couple times more. Well, as you see, 1, 2, 3, at least 12 different times. And each time she told me what she prioritized, what she was working on. Sometimes it was bowing, sometimes it was dynamics. And as her teacher, I could hear her prioritizing different things. I noticed, oh, this is a dynamic one. This definitely is not a squeak one. But again, not all 12, as you see, there's 12 different rounds, not all 12 were perfect. It's very important that you understand this. Not all 12 are going to be flawless. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting there forever. So each time she played, and there were sometimes she went for maybe good articulation or no squeaks, and there was one that was successful. And it's a game of honesty. And that's another thing was interesting, is that she became very motivated by this. She printed it out, had these stickers ready, and she put her stickers on the piece of paper. And her mother was quite impressed by this. She was thinking, oh, wow, my daughter is not talking back, not justifying, not making little jokes, but being quite precise and really wanting to fill in all of these boxes. But then here came the ringer. because you do have to do it 3 times, yes? But then here, there is a date and a little spot to sign off. That's to her mother's signature. Well, it's mine because I signed for her online. And then at one point I asked the student, okay, student, now you need to present this to either your parent or I, consider us judges, and you have 1 chance to impress us, once per day. And that's it. And you have to do all of the tasks. No squeaking, articulation, in tune, and dynamics. You have to do all 4 in tandem. Present it once to us, either one of us, so you get 2 chances, and that's the only chance for today. She's like, well, can I sort of practice it a couple times? So she practiced a couple, and at one point she's like, I'm ready, and she did it. And she played it for her mother. Mind you, her mother is quite demanding and high level of expectations. And I'm proud to say that she was quite impressed with that section in the music. I was a little bit less impressed, but the mother says, you know what? That's good. It sounded good. And we signed off and we moved on to the next section, which was right here. And the same thing. You know, there's different priorities. This one is a longer section, right here, 261 to 283. That's 22 measures. She needed to play in tune with dynamics and pulse. And in the section of 261 to 283, it is this part here. It is nice and melodic. And so there needs to be attention to those things. And I had her end exactly 283 on the very first note. There she is, all 9 tries. So effectively, I was able to get the student to play with deep practice techniques 9 times. And you can hear it. As the teacher, as the parent, you can hear it. And then comes the moment of truth, the time where you present it all. And at one point, she tries the same thing. She plays it for her mother, and well, she doesn't do that well. Her mother's not impressed, but she has one more chance. It's like, let me try again. And she presents it to me, and I was impressed. And it was a pretty long section as well. She did everything. She played it all in tune with good dynamics and good pulse. And I'm really happy about this spreadsheet. You know, I'm going to be using a lot more. I'd call this simply the Dvorak Rondo practice plan. And I'm always being asked by students, by members of the channel, and just by people in general, is how do I put together my practice plan? Because you can be easily overwhelmed. And so when you put things down very precisely, again, this is how deep practice works. You work on very specific parts and then you start to expand them. By the end of these 10 to 12 days, she will have filled in all of these parameters, and then she'll have to then play all of it once and hopefully satisfy all the tasks with one shot, because that's what it's about. When you're playing in music, it's all about that single opportunity to perform. And yes, it is all or nothing. You go up there in front of the judges and you have to perform, and you get one chance. I hope this motivates you. It made me happy. It made me quite impressed to see how deeply she practiced and deeply she concentrated on this music. And if this something that works for you, then leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this. And I definitely want you to interact and tell me what you think. How do you motivate your practice? And have you ever put down a practice plan for a particular piece or more in general for your daily practice? Whatever you're doing, thanks again for being my patron. I hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next video. The kitty cat is scratching the wall there. Bye-bye now.